What's going on, guys? It's your boy Hammer back with another supplement review, and today we are talking about one of my favorites, Apollon Nutrition Timecop. This was a limited run, but so Apollon is no longer making this. Luckily, there are still plenty of stores online you could find this. I would suggest grabbing it while you still can. I guess that's a little bit of a spoiler for how I feel about this pre-workout, but let's be real, I gotta lift, you gotta lift, so let's get down to business. Let's get right into it. Timecop. Now, this is a Miami Vice flavor. How did this taste? This tasted like a pre-workout with a whole lot of ingredients in it, to put it nicely. You know, I don't really care too much about flavors. I didn't think this was gross by any means, but it definitely wasn't Kool-Aid either, you know. It tastes like you're drinking a supplement. It's not something you're going to sip on and say, ooh, la la, that's so good. It is a 40-gram scoop, 39 to be exact, which is heavier than most protein scoops, to be honest. But when you look at this label, it is absolutely insane. You got 10 grams of citrulline, 100 milligrams of beta-alanine, 5 grams of tyrosine, 5 grams of betaine, 3 grams of taurine, a gram of lion's mane, a gram of alpha-GPC. These are ingredients that maybe you'll see one of them dose that high in another product, but seeing all of them dose that high in another product, that's the kind of thing you only get right here. We haven't even gotten to the stems, because you get into the stems, you got 750 milligrams of beta-PEA, 500 milligrams of urea, 500 milligrams of theobromine, multiple forms of caffeine, you got alpha yolk. Okay, I'm not going to go down every ingredient on the label, but basically what this gives you is the most complete nootropic package, basically out of any pre-workout I've ever used, coupled with an extremely high stim package, and just married the two together perfectly. And why I said this is my favorite pre-workout, so this pre-workout is special to me, is because for a lot of years, I'm sponsored by Bad House Nutrition. You see them right here? Those are some of my go-to hitters. And I was only using their products. And if I ran out, I would go to the local store and buy whatever that was there. You know, I'd read the label and try to get something decent, but that's the only thing I was using. I wasn't out there looking for the newest, latest, and greatest, the most unique, or, I wasn't looking for special formulas. I wasn't looking for anything with heavy hitters or secret ingredients or anything like that. But for some reason, this caught my eye, and I took a gamble and I bought it. And it's a little bit expensive. Most places are selling this for about $70. You could find it cheaper. NutriCartel has it. You could always get discount codes at NutriCartel. But I took a gamble on this one, and I remember the first time I took it, and oh my Jesus, the experience was absolutely insane. Takes a little while to kick in. You know, the first 20 minutes, I'm thinking like, okay, you know, whatever, I'm getting the normal little bit of energy. By the time I get to the gym, about 40 minutes have passed, and by the time I'm doing that first set and the blood starts flowing, I have just never been so focused and locked in. And it took me back to like taking my first pre-workout, or the first time I took something like Jacked, or if I took a long stimulant break and pre-workout break and then came back to it, like it took me back to that feeling, like so sharp, so focused, very strong, very powerful, super high energy, and just like you knew what you wanted to do. You turned you into the freaking Terminator. You were just like, you had a mission, and that's what you were doing. And man, if someone was at the gym and trying to talk to me, it was just like, nope, I'm doing this. This is what I'm doing. And power, endurance, everything you could ask for with a pre-workout. Really good pump. You know, there's not really much for pump necessarily directly in this pre-workout besides the hefty dose of citrulline. Stuff like betaine and taurine will indirectly help with the pump, but overall you're just so locked in. You get this mind-muscle connection where 2 exercises or 2 sets in, I would say, I'm getting this intense pump because you're just locked in, and it's like everything you do in the gym becomes that much more effective. And so that's like, to me, that's the perfect type of feeling, because it's one thing to be cracked out and have all this energy, but you're just kind of slinging the weight around. It's another thing to have high energy that's just enough, but you're so focused and connected, and you're not over the top, you're not jittery, nothing like that. So everything you do feels effective. Everything you do in the gym feels like you're getting the most out of it. I will say, the first time I took this, not being used to, it's got over, I believe, 500 milligrams of caffeine when you add it all up, between 350 anhydrous, 200 dicaffeine malate. So actually I think that yield is slightly under 500, but then you couple in the theobromine and extra and all these other things. It's a lot. So I had a little bit of a crash the first time I used it. Coming down from it was not the greatest, but honestly, I've probably ran this about 4 or 5 times total, and I really adjusted to it quite quickly. Like, I ran it yesterday, and I just felt great, and I actually rode pretty much my high all the way into my night training, my night cardio. So I think that whole idea of a crash, it might have just been that first time using it, I was going so freaking hard. Just so freaking hard. Gas pedal to the floor. But yeah, star of the show is obviously the focus, the locked in drive. You're going to do exactly what you plan to do, and nothing is going to get in your way. I don't really think there's that much else to say about it, besides, if you can get this, go get it. Apollon has said that they're going to do either another version of Timecop soon, or make it a staple product, because this was such a success. But that being said, right now, whatever retailers have is what's out there. So Timecop gives your boy Hammer a seal of approval. Highly recommend. Thanks for watching. Please like, please share, please subscribe. Do all the things. Go get your pump on and bring out a couple extra reps for your boy Hammer.